I am the Vortex, which around all tornadoes swells.
Okay, you have a big ego, in other words.
Yes!
Hi everyone, this is Triple T, and today I'm taking a look at Magic Square MS-06 Tornado, or Vortex, as I like to call him. And we looked at the box during the unboxing, but I do like these illustrations that Magic Square actually gives us. And of course, that silhouette that I so love. I actually think Onslaught was the best silhouette, but still I like this very much. And you can see his specs here, and a crying baby because he's under 3 years old, and so on. He comes with a collector's card. Nicely done, as I always say. I like that squarey background very, very much. That silhouette again, and the specs. Tornado. And the transformation is fairly simple until you come to combine mode. Because look at this little illustration. This breaks every rule I think that manufacturers should follow when they make something like this. There are 3 colors and so many steps in one picture that it should be illegal. Yeah. So Magic Square, please be better at these. He comes with his little gun, and you can see it's just done in a very nice blue plastic. You can separate it for helicopter mode. Yeah, it looks good. Are we focused? Yeah. He comes with 2 guns that are supposed to be on the side of his arms, and they actually come packaged on him, not beside him, on him. Yeah. They look very nice. I am worried about this little tab though, because it's going to the side of the vehicle or the helicopter, and if you bend it, well, this goes first, but if you happen to bend that, it can actually break. And I do have some stress marks on a couple of places on this figure, and we will get back to that later on. This is a very, very good figure. This is one of the best they've ever done, but there is one exception in here, and it is almost a deal breaker for me, but I will get back to that when we actually reach that mode. I just hope that it will stay together in the long run. But we of course get the chest for the combined mode, and I will show that off when we come to the arm mode of this one, and I will actually attach it so you can see how it will look with every piece there. He's a bit, well, he wants to lean. Let's just say he wants to lean. But let's look at him, shall we? He looks so good. This is like he was just jumping out of the TV from the G1 series. I do like this. And I know people have been commenting on this red, but it is cartoon accurate. Maybe they had some light-piped eyes. I don't know. But I'm remembering the 80s, they actually did paint the heads in different colors, so maybe that is it. I don't know. You have some engines here on the side, the shoulders, and these are rotatable, which is kind of nice. You can see it's very nicely detailed. It's actually shining. Those circles and these lines are very cartoon accurate as well. And yeah, he looks really, really good. One thing that bothers me is that he's oily. And that's probably because Magic Square wants him to look amazing out of the box. But I think that this just dries. Yeah, it's not really, it doesn't feel really nice. And the other bots I've gotten in this set, when this fades, this little oily thing, they look rather lackluster. But anyway, this is the back of him, and you can fold this little panel up if you want that blue instead. But I think that looks better, so I have it like that. And of course, his little rotor here. Very nice. And these blades will actually fold out to be twice as long, but they are actually tabbed in right now, and they are very oily as well. He's a bit sway. His head, now for articulation. His head can go up, go all the way around. He can look down a bit, which is very nice. The arms can go all the way around. They can go out to the side like that. As I said before, you can rotate these. You can actually fold them up if you want to have shoulder cannons, maybe. I don't know. Or maybe just like that. So you have a lot of posability in those, and they are really, really nice. You have a double hinged elbow here, so you can get the full bend there. The difference in stiffness in these are noticeable, but it's not really a bad thing. Just, well, you feel it when you manipulate him, of course. Very nice hands. Very, very articulated. You have a ball peg at the base and a hinge halfway. The same with the thumb, just that the base hinge is different. And you can, of course, fold it out so you can...
Stop! You come here no further!
And you have a waist rotation, ratcheted for some reason. And you have an ab crunch that goes on for days. So, yeah, that's very nice indeed. I do like the magic square hips that actually follows along with everything, but these have to be in a bit of a different way because, well, the hips, I'm gonna talk about that more later on, but he can, of course, kick all the way forward like that. And he can kick back like that. If you have that still in front, he can kick all the way back, but that just looks strange to me. He can do the full splits on very stiff ratchets, and that's one thing. Well, the knee joints can... It's a double knee joint, so you can actually get the full bend there if you... Well, if you move them about, of course. You have a swivel, and of course you have a swivel in the arm. I think I forgot to say that, but you do. You have a foot tilt, but if you just tilt the toes, they come off from the foot. So tilt the heel first, because that is actually way better, because then you get that foot the way you want it. You can, of course, spin this how much you ever want, and yeah. Now, this is a gripping hand, isn't it? But you can actually put the gun in his hand. It's a very small tab, but it works. And he holds that gun, and he won't drop it. And we can do the fans toys test here. Nothing is really loose on him, and he holds his gun just beautifully. To attach these, you have a little port here. So you put the peg in there, and then there is a port and a peg connection there as well. So you have that. And this makes his arms look a bit squarey, but I don't mind. Everything really tabs in well. Be it good or bad, I don't really know, because, well... But this is him all geared up. And he looks very, very good, in my opinion. Now for comparison, here he is with Ocular Max's version of Vortex. And he's a bit green, I think, compared to him. And I think this is the correct color when we look at the cartoon image, of course. But he looks good still. What does not look good on him is this space here. There are so... It's like an open... I don't know, atrium, maybe? But this actually just fills in everywhere, and that looks so much better. I did take those off because I actually have this in the box and not out, because, yeah, I don't have the space. But they look good together, but there is some stylization here that... I mean, this is a pretty old figure. Well, not too much, but still. but he is too stylized and not cartoon accurate enough compared to him. The fun thing is you actually transform the hands the same way, and I will show you that if you look at my transformational video that I will be posting side by side with this review. And here you have him in his alt mode, and it's a really nice looking alt mode, if I may say so. There are some fiddly bits in the transformation, but it works, of course. It's Magic Square, what did you expect? If you want to store this, you can, behind the head and inside the chest, but it rattles around. So I'm not very fond of doing that, but you can. These are on small pegs, which scares the living daylight out of me. Everything just rotates the way it should if you remember to pull this out and tabs in. Sometimes the tail piece, or whatever you want to call this, comes out. It's on a little slider, so just push that in. But let's look at the detailing, shall we? And the fun thing is that I actually rewatched the last night, yesterday actually, and there were a lot of these troop transport helicopters in that one, so I had to have him in this mode while watching that movie. They are sparsely detailed on the side here, but I don't really care. It looks very, very nice. And you can see people in your imagination, of course, inside here just ready to jump off and to attack Quintessa. Yes, if you like the movies. As I said before, you can fold these down as well. You have 4 nicely done engines here. Very, very nice. You can fold them up. You can rotate them about if you want to. But yeah, I don't know why you would. But he looks really, really nice. And the tail, of course, looks fairly well done as well. These tend to not be straight, but yeah, what are you going to do? He does roll, actually. Not on my surface, because nothing rolls on this surface. My fixed hobby surface. But this is what he looks like as a helicopter. And I can't find any fault with him at all. Sometimes these fold down for no reason, but he looks great. And as long as you don't really look at the blades, because they are not always straight out, nothing really bad comes of this. So yeah, very, very nice. And he's a solid, hefty piece of helicopter. There's nothing loose. There's nothing, untabbed. Everything is just in there. And if you want to, you can extend this over his head. That's the combiner port. So if you want to do that, you can. If you don't want to see his, head, you can fold that up. I don't really care. And this is the official transformation, so I'm going to leave it there. Now for comparison, I don't really... I want to compare him to another brand, just so you can see. And I think this... I don't know if this is too big or if this is too small, but the scale isn't perfect, but it works. I mean, if you sit in there, you can sit in there, of course, but I don't know how many troops he actually can transport with that little space in there. And here you have him in our mode, and he looks brilliant. Really, really nice. My gripe with this is this elbow joint, because the elbow joint is extremely stiff. I'm talking the stiffest I've ever felt. Not even Kang Toys comes close. And if you look in here, it's fairly sturdy, but still it's a little, compared to that, piece of plastic that it's on. And this is my main gripe. I don't know how long that will stay whole. You can, of course, unscrew things here to make it a bit looser, loosey-goosey, if you want to. I haven't tried that, but you can remove this, and you have a screw under here as well. So, yeah, Maybe you can do something about that, but I just want to mention that so you know when you get this out of the package, that is really, really stiff. And I'm talking stiff. You didn't get the hands with these, with this bot, so that will probably come with the next one. But they will also have the trousers, or whatever you call it. So I don't know if that will be more expensive or whatever. But it looks so nice in arm mode. And I'm not going to elongate this until we have actually put this on. Because now, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring in Bruticus. And have a little look at Bruticus. As you can see, I have put the chest on. Because you only get this blue piece. And the head, of course. With this release. And I put my little onslaught in here. Yes, I'm going to have him like this until I get the pants and the second arm. What bothers me a bit is that this little grey piece needs some color, so I put a little insignia there. And I sat like 20 minutes and tried to get it straight. And now I can see it's a bit too much to the right. Never mind. These tend to pop off for some people. For me, they are fairly well on there. You can, of course, just glue them in there if you want to. And when you are supposed to, if you want to, change out for the cartoon accurate chest, you just loosen this up. It's on 3 pegs, I think, and everything is just dandy. But look at this head. I mean, the detailing on here is sublime. I'm lost for words of how good I think this is. I don't know if you can detach things. It looks like that, but maybe that is more for if you want the cartoon accurate or the toy accurate head when that is released later this year, I hope. But you have great articulation and it's firm, but at the same time not too difficult to rotate this around. These are very firm, but sits on a very thick piece of plastic, so I'm sure they will endure. What bothers me is that, I don't know if you see that, but these pieces here, they are supposed to have a little tab from Onslaught in them. And on both sides, they have already gotten stress marks, visible stress marks. You can see it's a bit lighter. So that's something I don't really like. And, well, it's not very visible, and I can, of course, paint over it if I want to. But, you know, there you have that. And to apply Vortex, you just slide this on here. It's not the best of connections, but since Vortex and the rest of this combiner is so very light, this will be just fine. And as you can see, he is very well balanced. Even though I have the arm up a bit, he doesn't tilt to that side. And I mean, he's going to be a monster of a bot when he's put together. You can, of course, put the guns on him if you want to, but I like the sleek look of him like this, so I'm not going to bother with that. But you can if you will, if you want to. I don't know if you can have the gun here still or not, but yeah. You have, of course, a rotation there, and I'm going to actually straighten this out so you can see how hard this... Oh, yeah. Now he has his arm the way it's, well, straight out, and it is too long for him, so his hand will be by his legs, and that is good. He's well proportioned. Very well proportioned indeed. And if you just want to take him off, that's very easy as well. It doesn't really tab in, which is a problem for me, because I would have liked it to tab in. But now I have said much negative stuff, but I am very happy with this one. Everything that comes with this set is just sublime. Now for my conclusion, I love this bot. I absolutely adore him in every mode. The only gripe I have is the combined mode elbow, because I don't think that will stand the test of time. I would like them to do something different or fix that for next bot. I don't want two of my bots breaking in the middle. I'm going to see what I can do, if I can fix it or something. And it hasn't broken yet, but I'm not sure it won't. The little stress marks I have on their Bruticus shoulders isn't really that fun to look at. Just so you remember how they both look. And both look amazing. There is no error here at all, I think. Maybe the combined mode eyes are a bit too big. And I know there are stickers for these you can buy if you want to. I think I'm going to, because I would like them painted, not see-through or transparent. I'm going to give him his masterpiece score and not the combined part, just because we will talk about that when we actually get every piece. And his masterpiece score is 9. He would have gotten a 10 if that elbow in combined mode wasn't so, let's call it difficult, shall we? But he's a strong recommendation. I mean, even if you don't get the rest of the set, he's a very good bot, and he looks good and handles well. Everything positive you can absolutely say about him, he is. But I guess that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care.